Welcome back. This is part of the show where we introduce you to some good treats and eats from the area, and we're talking a sweet one here today. Brittany Haskins with One Sweet Kitchen is joining us this morning, and you have a great story, just kind of how you got started. I mean, you have been baking since you were very young.
Absolutely. My first memories are baking on a chair next to my mom, and I started Cookies by Brittany when I was 11.
I read, because you were kind of like, oh, you thought it wasn't real cool to have, your dad helped you with that, right?
Absolutely. He helped me, but it wasn't really cool to be a small business owner when you're 11. So it didn't really take. But I have owned One Sweet Kitchen for about 4 years now. It started just as a side hobby, and it has grown so much that coming up on 1 year being full-time, I have an employee, and so it is just
that's so
growing.
exciting. Yeah. And so talk about what it is that you offer, and maybe how it's a little bit different than some of the other sweet treats.
Absolutely. So at One Sweet Kitchen, we specialize in cookies and pies, helping you create memorable moments for families or clients with unforgettable cookies and pies.
Okay.
I used to do the cakes and the cupcakes, but we have so many other bakers in town that I was like, I really want to focus on what I enjoy doing.
So it's pies and cookies mainly where you focus.
And our specific specialty is the custom decorated sugar cookies. So like corporate clients who want to put their logo or a client's logo on a cookie, we can absolutely do that for them.
We've got some examples that we can show of some. I know this is a great, we were just talking about this, Dr. Seuss Day. These are awesome. And then you have, so you can do them for birthday parties,
bridal
for businesses.
showers, really, I mean, upcoming.
Look at, we've got St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
For sure. So anything that you want to put on a cookie, we can put on a cookie for you. And
you'll try to kind of help customize the shape. There's a fun one, examples for a birthday party.
We have some very creative customers, really anything they see on Pinterest that they want to send over, we can try and recreate for them, but we can also help you if you're starting from square one and don't know what you want to put on a cookie. You just want to send something fun to a friend or a client.
Okay, and it's nice to be able to, when we are celebrating these things, and to be able to have somebody else to rely on for some of these treats. Absolutely. Because you specialize in that. They always turn out beautifully. And what is it that makes a good decorated cookie?
It has to start with the cookie. If it doesn't taste good, nobody's going to want to eat it.
Right, and that's the problem a lot of the times. You see, it's like, and it's hard to get the frosting consistencies just right when we're doing it ourselves at home to make it have that really beautiful, polished look to it.
Yeah. And the Des Moines community has been so collaborative in helping my small business, and I know other small businesses grow. For example, at Creme Cupcake, they said, we're so busy with our cupcakes and our dessert lounge, we don't have space for cookies. So now they sell our sugar cookies at their shop, both regular and vegan.
See, and I think that's great. That's where a couple of businesses are able to help each other out, and they are focusing on what they're, and then bringing in the cookie. I think that's fabulous. So let's talk pies for a minute.
For
that's
sure.
Another one of your favorites.
Easter's coming up, and that is a big pie holiday for us. You can absolutely order your pies through One Sweet Kitchen instead of making them yourself. And so here's French Silk, and it is our most popular flavor of pie. And something kind of fun that we've been doing this year is French Silk Fridays, which started out just because I was a little cagey alone in the kitchen. And on Instagram I was like, why isn't hashtag French Silk Friday a thing? And I was like, well, it could be. So all of January we accepted nominations for anybody in town. If you had a nice neighbor or your favorite nonprofit, you could nominate them, and we would show up on a Friday and surprise them with a French Silk pie. And we received so many great nominations that we're actually extending that. It was just going to be January, February. We're now doing it through at least March. And it's just been wonderful to not only surprise people with pies.
So do you deliver them on Fridays then typically?
Yep.
All right. Yep. And I know you brought one here today because somebody here was nominated.
Yes, Jackie.
And unfortunately she's home with the flu today.
If they refrigerate beautifully, when she's home and feeling better, she can eat this pie. But yes, back in January, Jackie was actually nominated to receive a pie.
Yay.
And so we're going to do a bonus one. It's French Silk Monday for Jackie.
There we go. I love it. Any day can be French Silk Day, right? And then you've got a great little treat here for, because kids are going to be home on spring break pretty soon. So you've got a great cookie idea that they can play with at home, correct?
For sure. So this is a super simple cookie idea that you can get your kids involved with. And the great thing is you can interchange your favorite cookie dough recipe and the favorite treat inside. I recognize not everyone likes baking as much as me, so you can absolutely do this with store-bought cookie dough. Just buy your favorite tube. I brought some double chocolate chip cookie dough today. And this originally started back in the Cookies by Brittany days when we would make peanut butter cookies and put a piece of Snickers on the inside so that when you bite into it, it's got the melty chocolate, the peanut butter chocolate. But today I brought Rolos because keeping in the theme of St. Patrick's Day, when you bite into it, it's kind of like a little pot of gold.
Very clever.
So it's so easy. Once you have your dough, whatever kind of dough you've chosen, you just take a scoop of it, and then you take your chosen candy and you put it inside of the dough. Again, Snickers work great. My husband loves Twix. You can put anything.
Any of those little minis.
Yes, any mini, but you need to make sure that the dough is really sealed around whatever candy that you choose. Otherwise,
it'll
it's going
pour
to.
Out.
Yes, otherwise it's going to melt and you'll get maybe caramel. It's not the end of the world. It's just not as pretty. So you do that and you can roll it into a ball.
Okay, and then will you cook it in the ball shape and it'll automatically
it melts, it automatically goes like cookie shape. You'll have a little maybe lump in it so that whoever you're giving it to or yourself knows there's a little surprise inside. But especially if it's still warm when you eat it, it's going to have that gooey, chocolatey
very nice.
all over the inside.
Oh, and kids will have fun with coming up with different, and maybe they do a nice variety that has a lot of the different little fun size candies in it. Do you have any little tips just on what some few little things for people that makes a good cookie dough, or an ingredient tip or that to have better cookies at home?
My number one tip is that people tend to over bake really whatever they're baking. Your cookies will continue to bake for about a minute or two on the pan, so you do want to take them out when they're just not quite done, not raw, but they will continue to cook on that pan. So that's how you get, I don't really like a crunchy cookie. So at One Sweet Kitchen, we do a soft cookie, and they're generally thicker. Especially if you're doing sugar cookies, then you would think you need to roll out. So if you're reading a recipe and it says roll to a certain thickness, roll it a little bit thicker if you want that soft cookie.
Okay, and then is there, as far as, can you overbeat your cookie dough or anything? Because I know like with cakes and stuff, there's
flour is generally the thing you're gonna add last because you wanna mix just until combined. You don't wanna be mixing that gluten because it's a protein and then it's gonna get hard.
That's what makes the tougher cookie. Okay, well thank you very much for this. This is a great idea for the kids over spring break, and any of you who are needing some cookies or pies for an upcoming event, visit her at onesweetkitchen.com. You also have a couple of events that you want to talk about.
Sure. The 2019 trend for sugar cookies is succulents. Can you put succulent plants on a cookie? And so we're partnering with Art Terrarium down at the 11 Cherry Building downtown. They have art, they have plants, I have cookies.
Yeah, what a great combination.
Watch our social media for what date that's going to be.
Okay.
And so we'd love to have you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in. Good. Congratulations on the growth of your business and all the wonderful things that you're doing. Visit her at onesweetkitchen.com. Stay tuned.